interns and associates, and welcome back to another episode of the Cubicle Podcast. I'm Charlie Armstrong, and today I'm bringing a guest on who is someone that embodies the intersection of leadership, entrepreneurship, beauty, and brains, and creativity. Akshita Pinapaty. She is a student at the Fashion Institute of Technology who already has built an impressive portfolio of accomplishments, from serving as the executive director of Chéri Cosmetics and representing Bubble as a campus ambassador to advocating for students as a senator for cosmetics and fragrance marketing at FIT. So when it comes to beauty, she does not play. So beyond business, Akshita was also crowned Miss Teen Universal 2025, which is like insane in my opinion, and representing India on a global stage while using her platform to to champion confidence, inclusivity, and cultural pride. She's also been recognized with FIT's Peter Vogel Silver Leadership Keys Award for her dedication to service and leadership, and has participated in initiatives like the L'Oréal Brandstorm competition, exploring the future of luxury fragrance, which was a really cool project that I can't wait to talk more on. And whether she's building a beauty brand, organizing campus events, leading dance performances, or inspiring the next generation of entrepreneurs, Akshita's story really does embody ambition, resilience, and purpose. So I'm excited to say that we're going to dive into her journey, the lessons she's learned along the way, and what's next for her growing career that she's continuously building. So please join me in welcoming Akshita Pinapaty. Thank you so much for being on here. It is such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me here, Charlie. I think giving me this opportunity has really made me feel immensely proud of you because I have seen you grow through this journey, through, starting this podcast the way you are, and you have so much more to achieve in life.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be a fun journey, one that you could just continuously smile and laugh and have fun through, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like you get to talk to people, so I think you really learn from people. So, and you also, the other people, the people viewing these podcasts get to learn so much more too. So it's like a gain, a knowledge gain.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's learning. You know what? I think it's like always the principle that we kind of share throughout the podcast is to stay curious. No need to go stale. We're all here to learn and to grow and become something of ourselves. So to be able to just learn from others, gain perspective of others, and use that as motivation and courage, I feel like it's just so important. So I'm just so thankful to have you on the pod, and I cannot wait to learn even more about you from what I already know, and also just get to chat and inspire all the interns and associates. So thank you again. And I can't wait to get started. To kind of just start off by just saying that you do wear so many hats. So not only you're a student, you're an entrepreneur, you're a pageant title holder, and a student leader. So which role has shaped you the most personally, and why?
That is indeed a very intriguing question. To be very honest, I would say that before, back in the days, when you're a young teenager, you want to figure out everything in life, or even when you're a young adult, you always want to get everything in the right way, and you overstress yourself and you overwhelm yourself. So one suggestion that I always give people is that don't try to kind of, put all the eggs in one basket. Try to cater out and try to see what really resonates with you, because you really never know what might suit you or what might not kind of vibe with you over time. Because as an individual, if you ask me, every experience has led to another experience. It's like interconnected link of things that you end up doing. For example, I got into pageantry. When you are into pageantry, they expect you to kind of, have knowledge about cosmetics, beauty, the wellness industry, the health industry, even the rigorous training that they put you through in order for you to get that skill set and that leadership qualities in order to be a queen, that kind of leads you to becoming a good entrepreneur, or that leads you to wanting to, get into the cosmetics and fragrance marketing. So I always say it's a linked chain of things. There's a saying that I always say: to create a beautiful necklace, you need to handpick the most beautiful beads. So that is when it cumulatively, collectively comes together to become a beautiful artifact.
Wow, that's actually a really great way to put it. I love the fact that like you made it like about like a necklace reference, like the beads that you collect, that interconnection of like how everything that you do does have relevance and relate to each other. And it's kind of like almost the jewels that you wear, the representation of who you are, but it's not even just like what's always necessarily like on the outside. It's also like what's on the inside as well, which I feel like is like a big thing about pageantry. So actually to kind of go along with that question, I feel like I just kind of just generated a question just from that. So the emphasis of pageantry is about, beauty within and without. How do you think the pageantry has like helped you embody that version of yourself, like embody like this character that you have within you and even outside as well?
So, another very famous saying. So, I love to kind of go through different quotes on a daily basis. I have this app called Motivation, which kind of, throws different quotes on a daily basis. And I kind of pick a few quotes up because I always like to learn from people's experiences. Because, I always believe that we are not any less or greater than anybody. We should always try to be our best selves every single day. And that's when, I came across this quote which says that be the change that you want to see in the future. So, when you want to see a change in the society or when you want to see a change in this world, it's you who takes the first step, because there will be other people who will be inspired through your journey. And then it becomes a collective movement where everyone kind of joins hands and comes together in order to, make it a larger movement. So talking about my pageant is that is when I got into pageantry, and I was like, I really wanted to change a few aspects about the world, such as I saw that the world is losing the sense of being empathetic towards people, to care about one another. It's like sad to see that we have stopped realizing that we are, we all in the end are humans. We all are Homo sapiens. Yes, we might come from different cultures, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. We might look different, we might have different colors, but in the end, we are the same humans. We are the same people. So that was one thing that I really wanted to take on the global platform and tell them that in the end, if let's say you want to have a heart transplant, I'm going to match you by the quality of your heart. I'm not going to see, oh, this is her nationality or this is her color, this is her race, because in the end, you have the same heart, I have the same heart, and it beats for the same thing to be more empathetic.
Ah, I see. Very cool. And to kind of go along with that question too, so what does it take to be like a pageant winner? Since you did win Miss Teen Universal 2025, what do you think led to your victory? And what does it take to become a winner?
I think two most important things that one requires to become the queen is the zeal to never give up. Because going into this field, there are a lot of setbacks because there's a lot of competition. And every girl out there, I'm telling you, every participant is extremely beautiful. They are compassionate. They have their own, stories and lessons that they have learned in their personal life. So everyone is a knowledge book out there. So to shine among all of those people, I think first is the courage to never give up. And the second is hard work. I think hard work, I always believe this, that hard work will pay you off more than just luck. Being lucky is one thing, but if you're a hard worker, then I think you can take over someone's luck too.
I agree with that. I kind of figured that was actually going to probably be the answer because I was like, I think just like embodying that fierce, but like, kind and, that philanthropist energy and emphasizing the beauty within, without, and then also just showing that you really want to win this and your representation will shine through if you do win this. Like, I kind of figured that was going to kind of be what that would take to kind of become that pageant winner. And that's so, I just want to say congratulations again for being able to have that role and to be able to be like, yeah, I did that. Like, we won Miss Teen Universal 2025. And I want to ask, do you think you would ever get into pageantry again after doing it for the time that you have?
I would say that I would really want to get back into it, but once I'm, in my 25, 26, my mid 20s, because I think that in order for you to get into pageantry again, like, Miss Teen, Miss Universal, I mean, say Miss Universe, Miss World, I think the things that you really require are experiences. And I think for the next 4 to 5 years of my life, I would want to gain a lot of lessons and experiences, which I would like to instill in order for me to kind of shine on the stage. So I think it's on my list, it's on my timeline, but it's a little later on in my timeline.
Gotcha. And I'm curious, how does one kind of get involved with pageantry? Like, how did you get involved?
Okay, this is very intriguing and very interesting, to be honest. So, my mom and my dad, so in India, we have this concept of Miss Fresher and Mr. Fresher. That basically means that they have a pageant for the freshers and the freshmen who come into college every year. And my mom was Miss Fresher and my dad was Mr. Fresher. But they were for two separate years, but they have one different, pageants, internal pageants in colleges. And on top of that, even my grandfather, he was always from a very young age, would always tell my mom that we really wish to have, a Miss Universe in our family. Nobody has won a crown for India, for our country. So I think the two things, first things aligned, and the second thing, I think it's in my blood because both of my parents have been somewhere in that field, have have had some experience. So I think just gaining that motivation from both of them and just going ahead in life.
I see. So yeah, it's the family and the yearning from the family side of things. I get you. That's fantastic. So now I would love to shift over to Chéri Cosmetics because I know this girl that we have on here is an entrepreneur and a founder of a company. So I would love to chit chat a little bit about this. So I want to know what inspired you to create Chéri Cosmetics and what do you think like the specific gap in the beauty market you were hoping to fill when creating the brand?
Okay, so as a beauty enthusiast, you always want to try out different products. You always want to, hop onto different brand wagons and, trends in order to kind of be also, in the trend with your co-colleagues, with your, co-students, co-friends. So, when I was trying to do that and when I was trying to get few brushes, when it came to brushes and tools, beauty tools, I really realized that the industry has a huge pit hole because if I wanted to buy every possible brush for my makeup looks, because, after so many trends going viral, such as the glass skin trend, then there was this milk skin that really went viral, glaze skin by Hailey Bieber is really, famous. And then we had, I don't know if you know about this, like a deer eye, a deer makeup trend. And then there was a cat eye trend with like dark feminine energy, soft feminine energy. And when you want to achieve these, trends, it is about the products. But again, it is about the applicator that leads to the right application of the product in order for you to get that effect. And I realized I have the best products, but I don't have the right applicators because most of the time I'm using, expensive foundations at like $45, $75, $80, sometimes even $90. And then the brush that I was using or the beauty sponge I was using would be soaking up, I would say like 60 to 70% of the product. And now I'm left only with 30% of the product. So this is what really, motivated me to kind of come up with Chéri Cosmetics because I wanted to envision a brand which is into makeup tools such as brushes. And again, jumping, onto the whole brand wagon is people want to buy brushes, but they have kind of stopped realizing this thing that sustainability, cruelty-free, vegan, and handmade are a few things that are not only seen in skincare or in color cosmetics, but is also a very important virtue when it comes to, brushes or tools. So that was another thing we really wanted to incorporate in Chéri Cosmetics and, make it famous and viral and give the right products to the consumers. Because as a student, or even, Charlie, you kind of agree with this. If you want to go out and buy a beautiful set of brushes, let's say 10 to 15 brushes, good quality, very soft, high bristle count, you would at least spend 250 to $300 on brushes, right? Which is very expensive. I wouldn't say $300 is any less. And because you tend to wash these brushes over time, they tend to lose its, softness or elasticity. That's what I realized with the mass market brushes. That's when I wanted to come up with Chéri Cosmetics. And we are a brush line. We are sustainable, cruelty-free, vegan, handmade. And the most beautiful part of all is that all the designs that you see are very unique. You would never see them anywhere in the market. And we are very reasonable. Like our 18 pieces brush set, which is our luxury brush set, which is 100% aluminium body. And we are proud to use recyclable aluminium. So we're giving it back to Mother Earth. So I think that just is like $74. And it has 18 different brushes and 2 different travel brushes. So it's very intriguing, but it's very different. And I think every individual who's even viewing this podcast should, I think, give it a shot.
I absolutely agree. Chéri Cosmetics is a great makeup brush brand. And I actually love to like understand even more from that perspective. Like you do have all of these excellent like makeup and beauty products. I mean, we obviously know the cosmetics industry and the skincare and beauty industry is so saturated. Like everyone's got some sort of a beauty brand. And there's so many great products out there, especially the ones that you could tell it work really well for people and they shine through because people love them and the testimonials and people sharing ideas and making content based off of the products. That's how these brands and the products itself continuously grow and gain in popularity. And that's why they get sold out and businesses do well because people like their products. And that's what it's all really about. And I do think that there's always a need for having, in order to create these looks and to make sure your makeup applies on well, you have to have the tools to be able to facilitate that. So I think it's great that like you did kind of start off with making brush brushes in that sense. And I liked your approach on that because so many people approach differently, right? Where it's like, oh, do I start with a skincare line? Do I start with, a makeup line or even like hair care or fragrance beyond, right? But I think it's cool that like you started from, a beauty brush or like making beauty brushes and an applicator standpoint because you need more of that in the market. And you're trying to value the importance of that, which I feel like most people at first will be like, well, I don't, like I could just go to the store and just get like really cheap makeup brushes for, in bulk for a pretty decent price. But yours is like, well, we are doing it in more of a luxury, but you're buying into something that is going to be, you're buying into something good. And there's something that like goes into not only is it just biodegradable, vegan and cruelty free, but they're also luxury. But yet, like, if you think about it, if you're buying it in bulk, it's a good investment and a good price point. So it's like, I think that aspect of well is amazing. And regarding, because I know you do kind of sell it in a lot of bulk. Like I know like your two like really big makeup brushes that you have that have like you said 18 brushes in it. It was 18.
Yeah, 18 and 20. Yeah.
So do you want to sell it in smaller packages as well? Do you think people might gravitate, you think, more to like buying the in smaller packages, or do you think you want to stick with like the bigger packages?
I think I've gotten this question a lot of times from consumers, they're like, why haven't you tried out coming up with, a 4 brush set? But, my backbone and the pillar of my brand is to be sustainable. And people really don't realize this, that if I am trying to put it up in like, smaller sets, I have to produce more, which leads to more carbon emission in the longer run. So it's a sustainable perspective that we look into. And again, I always believe you are paying, let's say $54, $74 for that set. So my question arises that if you're paying that much, I want to give you every possible brush because I feel makeup is art. And today you might be at a beginner stage. After like, 5 years or 2 years down the line, you might go into, advanced stage. So I want you to keep, give all your creative freedom when you're doing your makeup. I really don't want you to ever feel, held back upon saying that, hey, I don't have this applicator, I don't have this brush, so I cannot do this look today. Why feel that? So we want to give you everything possible. So you could practically achieve every makeup look whenever you want to, and it's in your creative freedom time. I don't want you to be liable on another company or, you going out, getting a new brush and being like, okay, this doesn't work. Because even if you want a foundation brush in our pack, you'll get 2 different foundation brushes for 2 different types of foundations, for a matte and for, a dewy makeup. So it's all about that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, no, I see your point there. Like if you make different sets, like it'll just be more like carbon emissions and it kind of defeats the whole point. But do you think from like a product development standpoint down the line, I mean, obviously, you want to be sustainable, you want to create like less emissions as possible, but do you think it might just be fate down the line that you might just have to, just on a product development standpoint? Like, do you want to create more products down the line? And do you think that there may be a risk running into a problem where, okay, I want to create different products, but it kind of go against the principles of wanting to also create less emissions? Like, what do you feel about that? And how do you think you want to approach that?
I think there are a few products that we are actually working on right now, which are in the R&D, working with our R&D team and a product development team. And, for example, let me give you a beautiful example for brush set that we're planning to launch. And there's a few different things we're planning to launch soon, which I will give a tidbit teaser for soon. But so one brush that I want to talk about is, let's think of you having a big, like a little thick, big blush brush. Okay, let's give that as an example. And if I told you that I could create the handle itself as a case for other smaller brushes. So that's where I'm trying to be sustainable, recyclable, because I'm using the handle of a bigger brush as a case for smaller brushes, So I think, again, when it comes to product development, it's all about different designs and different, renders that you come up with in order to kind of, make it look appealing and at the same time be sustainable as a brand. Again, I also feel over, the years, we will see so many trends and bandwagons, hopping on in the years that, in the next 6 months, you might have a completely different makeup trend. So I feel that when you hop onto, our products, we try to give you everything, even if it's a smaller set, we try to incorporate smaller brushes in the bigger set so that you can still get that room to play around with.
Okay, I see. So do you think, going off of kind of like what you stated before, so it's like you obviously didn't want to create like smaller sets of brushes because of the carbon emissions. Do you have any concerns with that, in a sense, in regards to what you want as a brand, but like regarding like creating products, but then also running into the aspect where you're going to, still create a lot of carbon emissions. Like, do you think there might be like a bit of like a conflict there? And how do you feel about that as a founder and a business owner that wants to continuously grow, but also maintain what the business is already thriving off of?
Absolutely. So, being very transparent as a business owner and as a consumer herself and a very, a young teenager and a young adult, when you talk about different brands, or even if you kind of deep down about the world's biggest brands, for say, let's say Clarins or let's say L'Oreal, if you go and, or even LVMH, I'm being very transparent. When you name these brands, in real terms and in reality, you cannot be 100% sustainable. The best thing that you can do as an individual is try to touch a sustainability range that is 20 to 30% and then start to kind of slowly moving towards 100%. But use directly jumping onto 100 is practically impossible, right? Because it takes a lot of investment when it comes to R&D. It takes a lot of investment when it comes to product and development. If I have to come up with a product that's really high tech, like that's like 100% sustainable, the price for the consumer would go up to by hundreds. It's because the material is rare, and sustainability is again a very new term, I feel, because to directly shift from an existing product that's been in the market for hundreds of years and you suddenly have to shift to something that the consumer wants, you try to incorporate a few parts and then you start to change it in order for it to become more sustainable as years pass by and as technology improves and becomes more affordable even for the consumers over time. So I think, I always say this, that it is a more linear and a slow process. It's like you being the turtle, not the rabbit, but in the end, you will win because you were the turtle in the race.
I see. No, I get that. From a business standpoint, that it is a tortoise in the hare situation, is it not? It's like it's a slow and grueling process, but if you trust the process, utilize what you've learned like throughout school and throughout experiences, throughout other jobs, it's, you put that into, and honestly, not necessarily copying, but I think taking inspiration from other companies that have had a lot of success definitely does help. Seeing what they do, listen in on what they're thinking about, what they want to implement into their business, and then you can implement it into your own, which I think is always a great idea and kind of just how it's done, honestly, right?
And I always feel, like knowledge has no boundaries. It's not caged, it's a learning experience. It's a two-way process. Sometimes I'm telling you, big brands, they learn from smaller brands because actually the ones who are in competition and who really want to gain attention are the smaller brands because the bigger brands already have it all, practically saying, right? The
Yeah.
smaller brands are the ones who are trying to gain attention, trying to, break through the whole, the whole construction that's put up by these bigger brands. So being very transparent, I feel these bigger brands, they tend to learn a lot from smaller brands. And it's the other way around. It's a two-way process.
I see. I see. No, that's true. That's how it's done, honestly. And regarding the brand, I'm curious. How do you think like 5 or 10 years down the line, like how do you think the brand and the business is gonna look?
That's I think this is a question I would give my whole heart and soul into because this is my favorite question. One of my favorite questions of the whole podcast, for sure, Charlie, is that I think in the next 5 to 10 years, starting off in the next 6 months, I'll give you a sneak peek, which will lead you to the next 5 to 10 years. So we are venturing into high advanced electronic facial tools that can be used at home. So we are venturing out into advanced facial tools. So we have our R&D team, and we had a long session with them, and we'll be launching them by the mid of September. And we'll also be starting our brick and mortar store really soon, where people themselves, it's not only an e-commerce platform and an e-commerce brand, but they can come in, feel everything that we talk about, feel what a real promise feels like. And in the next 5 years, my dream is that every household try, maybe, maybe not in the, more practically not in every country, but I would say at least 50% in the globe has one Chéri product in their house. And they really love it. They really cherish it. And it also becomes a point of love and a point of gifting where people don't only see this as a supported product to a color cosmetic product, but it creates its own category where people are like, okay, if I have to buy a blush, or we go to Rode or we go to Rare Beauty. So if I want to buy a brush, we would come to Chéri Cosmetics.
Mm,
Create a
I see.
brand value.
Very cool. And do you think that you would collaborate with maybe like other brands like down the line, you think? Because I know like obviously that happens at a lot of point where there's cross branding, cross collaboration. And is there any specific brand that you would think would best align with collaborating with Cherry Cosmetics?
Yes, I would be completely open to, collaborating, because I think collaborations really help you as individuals to grow too, in the business and understand and learn about different industries. And I think one brand that I would really, really, really collaborate with would be Rhode. I think Hailey Bieber has learned and mastered the art of marketing and to crack every market. She's a queen. Whatever she touches turns into gold. Everything she drinks, I think, becomes the most viral, popular drink anywhere in the. I think she herself, she is the marketing package. Everything that comes through her becomes viral, but she herself is the marketing genius. She's the genie. She's the marketing genie. I would like to put it up that way. So I think collaborating with Rode, and such a beautiful business has grown out over the years. I've seen it from like nothing to being everything, and every teenage girl, Gen Alpha, Gen Z, or even millennials having to run, to our road and to Sephora to grab every possible product and always seeing the shelves empty because they are just amazing. So I think if I would have the privilege and opportunity to collaborate with Rode, I think it would be a dream and a life-changing opportunity.
I absolutely agree. I really am impressed by Hailey Bieber with the fact that she is self-made. She really is a marketing genius. Her and I feel like Alex Earl also, in my opinion, because Alex Earl is also self-made, and I mean, in the last couple of years, like you've seen how much she's grown and how involved she is in like everything she touches and everything she does, especially she just launched her new recent brand as well, Real Actives. And I mean, I haven't tried her skincare products, but I heard everyone saying that they're actually pretty good. And I would imagine, because I know she has had she does have acne prone skin and she has had a lot of skin issues in the past. She really wanted to create this brand to market it and make it, a price point that's affordable for, her target market, which is kind of like around our range. And then also make it sustainable, the classic things that you would hope a brand today would have in order for it to, be in the market and thrive in the market, but also just, and also be great for people that do have acne prone skin, which everyone's skin is different and reacts to different things, right? So I think it's like you always have to keep that in mind. And I'm sure as she continuously builds her brand, she's going to keep creating different products that will work better for certain people, maybe different on others. But there's always that aspect as well. But I would also could see Cherry Cosmetics collaborating with Merit Beauty. I feel like because I was thinking of like beauty brands that I feel like are very like luxurious and kind of like they're like
Uh-huh.
kind of like up and coming too. Like I feel like it's very like contemporary, and I feel like just so many different brands are like really kind like they're probably growing more in popularity now, and I think they are in Blue Mercury. I'm gonna fact check that one, but I was just talking to somebody at my internship about like what was their favorite beauty brand, because mine's Glossier. I love Glossier. It's one of my favorite brands. And if I could, I'd buy everything in the store. Like JC and I, like we went like a couple months ago. We were in Glossier, and I was like, if it was a purge, I would genuinely like just come here first. I would beeline here, take everything, and be like, all right, bye. So, but no, I think like I could also see Cherry Cosmetics really collaborating very well. I feel like with Merit Beauty, just based on the vibes, and I think like what they have, and I think I can't wait to see like what happens in the future for Cherry Cosmetics and like what brands and what makeup artists and what influencers you guys can get on board to help the brand continuously thrive and become the way that it's becoming, because I do think that there actually is a lot of potential. And I do think it's a really fun brand regarding like, what the purpose is and what you guys are marketing towards. So I'm so excited to see on the sidelines what happens here.
I'm excited too. I think Merit is a beautiful brand. I think one of their products that I really always hear about is their bronzer, then even their concealer stick that they use, the all over concealer stick that can be used even, the different shades as a multi-purpose stick. So I think Merit is indeed a beautiful brand. Their aesthetics are minimal yet luxurious. Even the color scheme, I must say, the blue that they use is very eye-catching.
I have to agree. I do like a lot of their products too. Like it's a pretty penny, but it's but it's definitely I'm sure worth the investment. And just if you're into their products, like this is what you need to be buying. Like this is how you do it. And regarding creating a startup, so obviously not only are you a business owner, you are an FIT student. How has the balance been? I'm sure it's been difficult, but this is kind of a rhetorical question here. But how has the balance been being a student, but also being a business owner? And how do you balance it all?
I think there are days, I wouldn't say even I wouldn't even say there are days. Every day, I would say every day is a hustle, you know. There are a few days where I'm giving 100% of my energy to my business. There are a few days when things become 50-50, and then there are a few days where I'm just 10%, giving just 10% of my energy to the business, and 90% goes into, my FIT and, the projects. Because FIT is, I would say, a very competitive school, and they have a very rigorous style of teaching and a rigorous way of even evaluating these students and understanding how much they have absorbed throughout the semester and from their classes. So when when you're balancing a business where it's like churning you into, shredding you off and, putting you off, and then on the other side you have to like you literally have to put your guards down. You have to be like, okay, so now I'm a shredded cucumber and I have to be sliced into, get sliced into sliced cucumber after I go to, a school. When I go to college, it's going to be hard. But, in the end, it's all worth it because it's a two-way process. Because in college, what you learn, you can kind of instill it in your business. And sometimes I'm saying you learn so much more when you start your own business, because I've learned this, through the hard way, is an institute or an university teaches you to be a good employee. But to be a good employer, you need to get out of that comfort zone from that hub and kind of explore what and where do you want to go. Because those hurdles are very different from the hurdles one goes through in university, very extreme. But it's a mutual gain from both the ends, which again, you can instill in both the areas, which help you grow as an individual.
I bet. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you definitely do have classes, I'm sure, in school that teach you kind of like how to be your own boss, be your own leader, and those like entrepreneurship and business classes do kind of facilitate that a lot. But there's also so many classes I feel like that you take in college that kind of just, yeah, teach you kind of how to be a good employee, which I think is like always a challenge too. Can you see yourself in an employee standpoint, or do you think you just would like to like be like your own boss, like embody your own, girl boss moment, be a leader? Like what's your take on that? Like could you see yourself in that position, or do you just kind of like fully beelining towards being an
I think
employer?
I think I fight this battle every single day in my mind. Is I could, because I feel them, or I think the right way of answering this question to, would
It's a hard
be, it's a
one.
hard one. It is a hard one. Like, Charlie, you're putting me on the point. You put me at gunpoint. You're like, speak up, speak up.
Or not. I mean, a free will, like you can plead the fifth.
It's fine. It's like, if my employer ever sees me, seeing this video, I have to be diplomatic and be like, okay, but I'm gonna give a very transparent answer to this. I think joining an institution or an organization where they let you be an entrepreneur is a very important thing. I think there are beautiful brands out there, that give you the freedom and the chance to kind of think free and think like an entrepreneur, and because I've visited a lot of factories, visited a lot of corporate companies, really big ones in the cosmetic industry. I realized that these brands actually give you the creative freedom, and these people are looking for entrepreneurs because they know that to create something different or to kind of shake out the market, you need someone who thinks outside the box. So I always, tell people, my friends, or the ones who come in for advice, is try to think like an entrepreneur, because always remember that things are always changing. There's no full stop in life. You never know where things might go down because of the economic situations. You might get laid off any minute. You never know. So always think like an entrepreneur, because that gives you the leverage of kind of going out and exploring the field and being like, okay, I'm going to try it out. Or maybe when things go down and you actually have to become an entrepreneur, you do not have to freak out. You can just step out, those qualities that, good entrepreneur needs, the experience, the skills, the mindset, and you're ready to go. So just join a firm that's just open to learn from you. And if you ever feel like stepping into the employee's role, then you have the free will to do so.
Exactly. I think it's good to get like both perspectives at least some point in your life. Like it's okay to it's okay to do both, you know, whatever you want to do. There's room for both out here. And I think that like if you want to be your own boss, be your own boss, period. But if you also want to like, you know, work for someone to have that, you know, less risk, more stability, more comfort. I mean, granted, I was about to just head into how bad the job market is right now. So it's hard to be an employee out here. But like, you know, if you want that too, go for it as well. I think everyone like it's good to try things, especially like take the risks, try out different things, do what you want to do. I mean, we're all so young, we're all still figuring out what we want to do with our lives. So it's like, and no one really knows exactly what we're doing. We're just trying it out. But as long as you're doing your best, that's what matters. And you're just having fun in the process. And I think you're the emphasis of that, where you're taking that risk and you're getting into it and you're, you know, doing what you can to help it to grow. You're taking what you're learning from the classroom and implementing it into your business. And I think it's great that you're starting it like while you are in school. Like you're like, yeah, I'm going to take my classes, learn my classes, and then take what I learn and transfer that into my business because this is what will probably work. And then it's trial and error. And then you see based off of performance, based off of sales, based off of analytics and data and whatever information you can get with regarding what platform you use. That's like what it's
Absolutely.
all for. Exactly. Which I think is amazing. And I think it's great that like even before we even started the episode and started recording, like I just think it takes so much courage just and it's just so impressive to start building a company so young. And I really do want to say like I'm a huge fan. I think this is inspiring and you make me want to start my own business someday. I don't know what yet, maybe a beauty brand. I have a beauty brand idea, but and I do actually have it like a business plan on my computer
Okay.
to
Mm-hmm.
be, you know, changed or adjusted, I'm sure, but it's in the works.
I think Charlie, you have the better edge because your parents themselves, were in this industry for a long time. They were in for it a long time, I would say. So I think you yourself have the best judges who can like scrutinize every single thing for you because they have seen it through, different lenses. And I think that really kind of puts you on the higher point that you can just take advice from them. And that's so beautiful that your parents, and you have such a beautiful bond. I've seen that with your parents and with your brother, that it's you can always go back to them. So
Oh yeah, yeah. They're fantastic. I'm so lucky to have a good support system regarding family. And I mean, granted, like they didn't have a beauty brand, but they've worked with so many beauty brands, which
yeah.
was their clients. And I think they've created so many great products. And I mean, it's cool because it's like the internship, because it's like very similar to even like the internship that I work on now, where they also work with clients all the time and they create more like they don't really create like the actual products and the
Yes.
packaging. They create more like bags and keychains and like knickknacks and like fun little additions to the brand, not the actual products for the brand. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool because like when I was little, I would always like show up to, you know, their job and be like, oh, so what are we working on today? Even though I'd be like young and had like no idea what was happening. But you know, A for effort for being there, right? And then and helping them out with like motor, you know, tactile tasks where I would be like putting bottles and stuff like that together and sitting in on meetings. But I think it's cool to kind of like have them also still like even though they've been on the business for like I'm gonna say like 6 or 7 years at this point, but they still, you know a lot and they still are like still kind of like reading things, staying informed, and it's not like they have completely lost everything in their brain. They just lost some connections probably, but that's fine. It
I
happens.
think, in the end, they would have a beautiful network of, brands and people that they have worked with that, acts as a point of, like a knowledge book for you where you can maybe go up to them because of, that networking connection that I want to do this. What advice would you give? Or you can learn from their failures because,
Yeah.
always learn from people's failures rather than, you failing in the end. If something goes wrong, learn from people's failures, try to turn into success. And one day would Charlie would be in Forbes 30 under 30 or 12, yeah, 30 under 30, and I will see her in Forbes 30 under 30.
Girl, that's gonna be you. That's
Uh,
literally you. You're such an icon, and I can't wait to see, just you definitely are by far. Like you are, like you say me, I'm like, girl, no, that's you. Like I truly think like you will be Forbes 30 under 30, 100%. Like I can definitely see it. And maybe I will too. I better start hustling now, but we'll get
Girl,
there.
you're already hustling. Come on, I've seen you work so hard every single day. I must take a moment to appreciate that because it takes a lot to balance out school, this beautiful podcast, the Cubicle podcast. I still remember the first day you launched it. I was like, what is happening? Charlie, she is creating a breakthrough in this industry, being so young, being open to talk to people from different age groups, different backgrounds, different perspectives. It's not easy, but you have done it, Charlie. So proud.
Thank you. And there's still so much work to do, which we got to get to work on, but we'll get there. And we're just enjoying the process. I think that what's mattered the most. But I want to keep on with the move on. I want to chit chat a little bit about, oh my God, we're literally at like less than 7 minutes left. That's crazy. Time really flies when you have fun. I would love to chit chat about I guess you know what, because I'm we're just gonna get on to like the last like final questions. It's fine. We have a lot of substance to
Yeah.
work with. So basically, I would love to ask, so if after everything you've done, are there any like projects or things that you're looking forward to for the future and down the line regarding like school or, just Chéri Cosmetics or anything in general that like you're really excited about? And do you have any spoilers of like maybe like future projects or future things that you want to work on, like maybe outside of everything you've already talked about at the moment?
Okay. So when it comes to the project, I'm very excited for my capstone. I'm in my final year. I'm a senior. I cannot believe I'm gonna be a senior at FIT. So I have my capstone project coming up. So creating something that's really different, really is going to create that breakthrough in the industry, or at least try to create something that people wouldn't have thought of, would be my first priority when it comes to school. And when it comes to Chéri, I think we're planning to kind of venture out in India and in Dubai my next year. So you will see us in Dubai and in India really, really soon. And that's another, I think, one of my main goals for the upcoming year and for some time. And other than all of this coming outside the box, I would say that I really also want to get into wellness centers, and start these wellness centers, spa centers, where you could walk in, come in, and we would be under the name of Chéri, but it'll be it's like an end-to-end thing where you come in, you buy our products, and you also come into our salons, our wellness centers, and we give you the best spa, make you feel relaxed using very advanced machinery and technology. So I think I want to incorporate a lot of spas with really high-end technologies, which again is very affordable.
Mm. That's a great idea. I love that. I think that's a brilliant idea. And I hope you guys do get into like wellness centers and spas and stuff like that. I feel like that'd be great for Chéri Cosmetics. And I just can't wait to see how this brand progresses. Like I'm obsessed. Like literally afterwards, I'm gonna be like go on the website and be like, oh, gonna make a purchase. Like like I'm obsessed with the brand. I truly am so happy for you guys. Like it's just incredible. Truly. I'm so happy and giddy for you, honestly. Like it's fantastic. And I would love to end off on this question. I asked this question to everyone that's on my podcast. It's the iconic finale. It's just how you hit it off on a high note. I would love to ask. So, if you can give one piece of advice, or it could be multiple, that's totally up to your interpretation, to the interns and associates that are watching, what advice could you give?
If I if I have to give one advice
Or
or
multiple, that's your choice.
advice, I'll give you one that will stay with you forever. Gonna be if you do not believe in yourself, nobody is gonna believe in you. So remember that you are an epitome of thoughts, an epitome of courage and valor, and you have come a long, long way in your personal life. Do not give up. Keep trying, keep walking in life. Try to, blaze through that fire that you see ahead. Always try to walk through it with passion, and always remember that the passion to do something really goes a long way. And work hard. Hard work always pays off. And I think that that were a lot of advices, but I would just say that believe in yourself, because your thoughts and your mindset and your belief can make anyone believe in you. So be proud about yourself, and never in life shatter about anything. Always be proud and feel good and healthy and happy about yourself.
That's excellent advice. That's honestly perfect. I feel like no one has honestly even really said that piece of advice. So I'm like, but that's just so true. Believe in yourself. No one else is going to for you. I mean, maybe your parents and, like other your friends, but it's your life. It's your story. You're in your own control. And I think, you can't do anything right or, be truly in tune with yourself if you don't believe in yourself and your
Exactly.
dreams and your goals and who you are and who you want to be. So I love that. Clock it, honestly. That's how it is.
Always do that. And even when you have because I just feel when you believe in yourself, Charlie, people start believing in you. Because when you can throw out that energy and confidence that I know what I'm doing, people don't question you much. Because they really want to see a confident person, a confident person who believes in their thoughts and their ideas. So always just walk in that path.
You got it. I will. I will. We all should. We all will.
Oh, well.
No, literally, I'm like, yes, ma'am. Like, that's what I'll be doing. But I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me on the podcast today. I really love just our conversation. You really inspired me. And I just love learning more about you and love learning more about your story and just being able to just learn about who you are and who and what you're building. And you're building yourself, you're building your brand, you're just building an image of yourself and you're living to your full potential, which I'm like, period, like as you should, queen. So I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. And I just want to say to the interns and associates, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Cubicle Podcast. I'm Charlie Armstrong, and stay tuned for next time where all is said. Thank you. Bye,
Thank you. Thank
guys.
you. Bye, guys.